Okay, so next naman yung authoritative family. So sa authoritative family, it is tyrant, punitive, high expectation, rigid, supportive. So dito, ano din, strict din yung parents, sila din yung nasusunod, pero tinitignan nila yung, kumbaga supportive sila sa kanilang mga anak. Tinitignan nila kung ano yung say ng kanilang mga anak, hindi lang purely sa kanila. So sa authoritative kasi, binibigyan ng mother and father ng karapatan yung kanilang mga anak, pero there are certain limitations. And then, next is yung indulgent parent, permissive, relaxed, free reign. So, dito naman, yung parenting style na to, yung mother and father, binibigay nila yung mga luho ng kanilang mga anak. So, dito sa may indulgent parent, ang nagiging sanhi naman ito sa may, sa kanilang anak, yung mga nagiging materialistic, ganyan. Kasi, nagiging spoiled yung kanilang mga anak. Next naman is yung indifferent. Dito naman, neglectful, no physical and emotional support. So, dito pinababayaan lang yung mga anak. Wala silang pakialam sa kanilang mga anak. So, yan naman yung indifferent. Next is the RA 9231 or yung tinatawag nating child labor law. So, sa may employment of children below 15 years of age, shall not be employed except. So, sa exemption, works under the sole responsibility of his or her parents or legal guardians who are only members of his or her family. So, dito, yung bata na 15 years old ay nagtatrabaho dun sa, kunyari, mga family business, ganyan. So, dito, sa may requisite, neither endanger his or her life, safety, and morals, nor impairs his or her normal development. So, kailangan yung bata na nagtatrabaho dun sa kanyang mga magulang or dun sa kanilang business, kailangan hindi na i-endanger yung buhay ng isang bata o kaya naman hindi nako-compromise yung kanyang safety. So, kapag naman ang bata ay nagtatrabaho sa may isang employer, ayan, child's employment or a participation in public entertainment or information through cinema, theater, radio, television, or other forms of media is essential. So, dito naman yung mga batang artista. So, ano naman yung requisite niya? Ito, agreement. So, kapag nagkaroon ng agreement or nagpirmahan ng kontrata, kailangan nandun yung parents ng bata. Ayan, child and parents plus yung employer. Tapos, provide the safe moral health and normal development, prevent exploitation and discrimination. So, ayan yung mga requisites. So, sa may baba naman, bago magtrabaho yung bata sa isang kumpanya, the employer shall first secure before engaging sa child a work permit from Department of Labor and Employment, which shall ensure observance of the above requirements. Ayan. So, yan naman yung sa RA 9231. So, next natin. Okay, so next, ownership use. Medyo naglalag yung aking laptop. Ayan. So, dito naman sa may trust funds to preserve parts of the working child's income. So, sino yung tinutukoy? Parents or legal guardian of the working child. Parang, eto pa pala isa. Sorry. Ownership, usage, and administrations of the working child. So, ano daw yung dapat gawin sa income ng batang nagtatrabaho? So, income of a working child, yung purpose dapat niya is support education skills, acquisition, and secondary to the collective needs of the family. So, yung income ng bata dapat napupunta yun sa kanyang pangsarili to support herself, yung kanyang education, para malinang yung kanyang skills. And then, dapat least priority na yung pangangailangan ng pamilya or yung needs ng kanyang pamilya kasi hindi pwedeng yung bata ay gawing breadwinner agad. So, yung not more than 20% of the income of a child. So, yung 20% daw ng income ng child, collective needs of the family. So, 20% lang ang pwedeng mapunta sa pamilya. And yung mataas na persyento ng kanyang kanyang kikitain sa kanyang trabaho ay dapat mapupunta doon sa educations and skills to support yung bata. So, next naman, yung kanyang trust funds to preserve part of the working child's income. So, parents or legal guardian of the working child. Ano yung dapat gawin ng kanyang parents or legal guardian? So, the purpose, kailangan merong trust fund yung batang nagtatrabaho. So, dun sa may trust fund na yun, for at least 30% ng kanyang kinikita, ay mapupunta doon sa kanyang trust fund. And kailangan yung trust fund na yun ay nakapangalan doon sa bata. And then, pagdating niya sa age ng 18 years old, ay makiklaim niya or mapupunta sa kanya yung full control ng kanyang trust fund. So, yan. Next naman is yung PD 603, the Child and Youthful Welfare Code. Youth Welfare Code. Article 2, the title and scope of the code. The code shall be known as the Child and Welfare Code. It shall apply to person below 21 years of age except those emancipated in accordance with the law. Child or minor or youth as used in this code shall refer to the person. So, yung rights ng child, ano ba yung mga karapatan ng isang bata? So, tignan natin. Number 1, ayan, every child is endowed with the dignity and worth of human being from the moment his conception as generally accepted in medical parlance and has therefore the right to be born. So, di ba yung kanina diniscuss natin, kailan ba nagkakaroon ng civil personality yung isang bata? So, the moment nga na nag-meet yung egg cell at saka yung sperm cell ay nagkakaroon na ng civil personality yung isang tao. Doon na nagkakaroon ng karapatan yung fetus or yung baby na ipanganak. Ayan, karapatan niyang mabuhay, in short. Sa 2 naman, every child has the right to wholesome family life that will provide him with toys, cares, understanding, guidance, and counseling, and moral material security. So, karapatan ng bata na magkaroon ng tahanan, magkaroon ng buong pamilya na ma-provide yung kanyang mga pangangailangan. The dependent or abandoned child shall be provided with the nearest substitute for a home. So, number 3, every child has the right to well-rounded development of his personality to the end that he may become a happy, useful, and active member of society. So, kailangan yung buhay ng bigyan ng magandang buhay yung bata kung saan meron siyang buhay na masaya, hindi sa kanya pinapadama yung hirap ng buhay, di ba? Ayan. So, dito, yung the gifted child shall be given opportunity and encouragement to develop his special task. So, yung mga gifted child na sinasabi dito, ito yung mga bata na matataas yung IQ, yung mga matatalino, yung mga genius. Ayan, kailangan daw bigyan sila ng kumbaga, ilinang yung kanilang skills, payamanin pa yung kanilang knowledge. The emotionally disturbed or socially maladjusted child shall be treated with sympathy and understanding and shall be entitled to treatment and competent care. So, ito naman yung mga bata na merong problema sa pag-iisip o kaya hindi pa yung mga immature or yung mga mabababa yung IQ, kailangan tutukan sila na mabuti, lalo na yung mga batang may special needs. Ito, the physical or mental handicapped child shall given the treatment, education, and care required to his particular condition. So, kapag sinabi nating physically handicapped, ito yung mga bata na hindi talaga, kumbaga hindi nila kayang mabuhay ng sila lang. Pwedeng merong mga kapansanan, mga ganyan. Mentally handicapped naman yung merong mga problema sa pag-iisip. Ayan. So, number 4, every child has the right to balanced diet, adequate clothing, sufficient shelter, proper medical attentions, and all the basic physical requirements of a healthy and vigorous life. So, kailangan i-provide nga yung mga pangangailangan ng isang bata. Every child has the right to be brought up in an atmosphere of morality, rectitude, for the enrichment and the strengthening of his character. Ayan. So, number 6, every child has the right to education. So, karapatan ng bata na mag-aral. Every child has the right to full opportunities for safe and wholesome recreation, activities, individuals, as well as for the wholesome use of his leisure hours. So, mas maganda na i-involve yung mga bata sa mga sports, ganyan. Bigyan sila ng karapatan na makapaglaro. Ayan, kasama yan dyan. Every child has the right to protection against exploitation, improper influence, hazards, and other conditions, circumstances prejudicial his physical, mental, emotional, and social moral development. Every child has the right to live in a community and a society that can offer him an environment free from pernicious influence and conducive to the promotion of his health and the cultivation of his desirable traits and attributes. Number 10, every child has the right to the care, assistance, protection of the state, particularly when his parents and guardian fails or are unable to provide him with his fundamental needs for growth, development, and improvement. So, ayan, kailangan kung hindi mapoprovide ng pamilya, ng kanyang mga magulang, yung kanyang mga needs, at least yung state man lang, mabigyan siya nung mga karapatan na to. Number 11, child has the right to be efficient and honest government that will defend his faith in democracy and improve him with the morality of the Constitution authorities both in their public and private lives. Every child has the right to grow up as a free individual in an atmosphere of peace, understanding, tolerance, and universal brotherhood, and with the determination to contribute his share in the building of a better world. So, dito naman, yun yung mga karapatan ng isang bata. So, sa Article 5 naman, commencement of civil personality. So, kanina, discuss na natin yung tungkol dito sa civil personality. Kailan nagkakaroon ng civil personality yung isang bata. Child welfare paramount in all question regarding the care, custody, and education of and property of the child. His welfare shall be paramount consideration. So, ang inuuna daw sa lahat ng bagay ay kung ano yung makakabuti sa isang bata. Article 19, absence or death of the parents, grandparents, and in their default, the older brother or sister who is at least 18 years of age or the relatives who has actual custody of the child shall exercise parental authority. So, kung namatay daw yung kanyang parehong parents, sino yung magkakaroon ng parental authority? So, dito yung pwede yung kanyang lolo at lola o kaya naman yung mga kamag-anak. So, kung wala naman talaga, pwedeng yung kanyang ate or kuya na nasa wastong edad na. Ayan, at least 8 years of age or other relatives. So, if both parents, unless a guardian has been appointed in accordance with the succeeding provision. Ayan, substitute parental authority, the surviving grandparents, yung kanyang lolo at lola, the oldest brother or sister over 21 years of age unless unfit or disqualified. The child's actual custodian over 21 of age unless unfit or disqualified. Next naman, when shall special parental authority exercise? So, kailan daw ina-exercise yung special parental authority? In case of foundling, abandon, neglect, or abuse, a children and other children similarly situated parental authority shall be entrusted in a summary judicial proceeding to heads of the children's home, orphanage, family institution duly accredited by the proper government agency. So, kung ang isang bata ay inabando na, natagpuan lang or iniwan ng kanyang mga magulang ni neglect, ang mag-aalaga sa isang bata, kung hindi kilala kung sino yung kanyang parents, ay yung state. So, dadalhin siya sa mga nursing homes or kaya sa orphanage, ganyan. Number 2, the school is the administration, administrators, and teachers, or the individual's entity or institution engaged in child care shall have the special parental authority and responsibility over the minor child while under their supervision, instructions, or custody. Authority and responsibility shall apply to all authorized activities whether inside or outside the premises of the school, entity, or institution. So, di ba nga sinasabi na ang mga teacher ay pangalawang magulang. So, bukod dun sa kanilang, bukod sa pag-stay ng bata dun sa may school, meron ding responsibility yung mga teacher kapag kailangan sila nung atensyon ng mga bata. Next naman is the parental authority terminates permanently. So, kailan daw nawawalan ng parental authority yung parents upon the death of the parents. So syempre, paano pa siya magkakaroon ng parental authority kung patay na siya? Upon the death of the child, upon emancipation of the child, or kapag dumating na na-reach na nung bata yung age na 18 and above. Ayan, a child is emancipated upon reaching the age of majority, which is 18 years old or 18 years of age. Then, Article 58, or torts, parents and guardians are responsible for the damage caused by the child under their parental authority in accordance with the Civil Code. So, yung mga masisira ng isang bata, ang mananagot dyan yung kanyang mga magulang or sila yung magbabayad nun. Yun ay sinasabi doon. Categories of children, meron tayong tinatawag na abandoned child. So, kailan ba natin masasabi na ang bata ay inabandona na? Refers to the child who has a proper parental care, no proper parental care, or guardianship, whose parents have deserted him or her for a period of at least 3 consecutive months. So, hindi na siya, kumbaga, hindi na siya dinadalaw ng kanyang parents, wala nang pakialam yun sa yung parents niya. For 3 consecutive months, yung bata na yun ay considered as abandoned child na. How about yung neglect naman? Neglected child refers to the child whose basic needs had been deliberately unattended or inadequate attendance with period of 3 consecutive months. Neglected may occur in 2 ways. So, dito naman sa neglected child, ibig sabihin, in 3 consecutive months, hindi binibigyan or hindi na pinapadalan or sinusuportahan yung bata ng kanyang mga basic needs. So, dito sa may A, there is a physical neglect. Ayun, mag-focus. Focus ko. Ayan. There is a physical neglect when the child is malnourished or hindi na nabibigay yung kanyang pangangailangan, pagkain, kaya nagiging malnourished na yung bata. Ill-clad, without proper shelter, hindi nabibigyan ng walang matirhan. A child is unattended when left by himself without proper provisions and or without proper supervision. And sabi naman, there is an emotional neglect when the child is maltreated, minamaltrato sa bahay, ginagahasa, rape, seduce, exploit, overwork, or made to work under the condition not conducive to good health is made to beg in the street or yung mga namamalimos. Ayan, neglected child po yun. How about the dependent child? So, sa may dependent child, ang tatandaan nyo lang dyan, yung mga batang dependent, umaasa sila sa public for support. So, sino yung mga yan? Yung mga bata na nasa orphanage. Ayan, isang example yan. Dependent child. Kasi 'di ba yung mga orphanage, merong mga foundations na nagbibigay ng pera doon sa may specific na orphanage na yon para mapakain yung mga bata na naninirahan doon. So, yun. Yung mga bata doon is dependent child. Kasi nakadepende sila sa public or sa suporta ng publiko para mabuhay sila at mabigay yung kanilang mga pangangailangan. Yan. So, yan yung mga categories of children. And, mentally retarded children, ano naman yung ibig sabihin yan? So, sa A, socially incompetent, social inadequate, occupationally incompetent, and unable to manage their own affairs. Yung mga mentally subnormal, retarded intellectual from birth, or or early age, retarded at maturity, mentally deficient as a result of constitutional origin, through heredity or disease, and essential incurable. So, yan daw yung mga mentally retarded children. So, there are classes ng mental retardation. It is based on the IQ level. So, number 1 is custodial group. Yung custodial group, yung tao ay merong IQ level na 1 to 25. Least capable group, severely or profound retarded. So, yung mga bata na, or yung mga tao na merong IQ level na 1 to 25, yung mga bata na to hindi sila natututo. Hindi sila natututo. Ni yung basic na pagkain, hindi nila yan matututunan. They are not trainable. Kaya nga, itong sa may B, ito naman yung trainable. Meron tong IQ level na 25 to 50. They are unable to acquire higher academic skills, but they can usually acquire basic skills for living to reasonable degree. So, yung mga trainable, ito yung mga natuturuan pa to. Natuturuan pa silang kumain, yung mga umihi sa kung saan tama yung, kung saan yung tamang lugar kung saan iihi o kaya dudumi. Ayan, natuturuan pa yung mga yan. Educable group naman have the IQ level of 50 to 75. Degree of success depends on the quality and type of education they receive. So, ito naman nai-improve ng konti yung kanilang mga knowledge. Natuturuan pa rin. Mas better kaysa dun sa may trainable. And yung sa may borderline group or low normal group, ito yung merong IQ level ng 75 to 89. Slightly retarded, and they can usually get by irregular classes if they receive some extra help, guidance, and consideration. So, ito yung mga may level ng IQ na 75 to 89, pwede pa silang pumasok sa school. Kaya lang, slow learner sila. So, yan naman yung mga classification ng mental retardation. Next is physical handicap. So, kailan ba natin nasasabi na ang bata ay physical handicap? Those who are crippled, deaf, mute, blind, or others defective which restrict their means of action and communication. So, kapag kumbaga yung isang bata ay merong kapansanan, siya ay considered as physical handicap. Tapos, emotional disturbed naman, those who, although not inflicted with insanity or mental defect, are unable to maintain social relation with others, and the community is generally due to emotional problems and complex. Ayan, so emotionally disturbed children. So, mentally ill naman, those with any behavior discomfort, whether functional or organic, which is of such degree of severity as a required professional help or hospitalization. Then, disabled children naman shall include mentally retarded, physically handicapped, emotional disturbed, or severe mental ill children. So, kapag sinabi nating disabled children, ito na yung general term na tinatawag doon sa may mga bata na merong may mga problema. Like, ayan, pinagsama-sama lang yung tatlo, yung physical, emotional, and mentally ill children. So, tawag sa kanilang lahat, disabled children. So, ano pa pala yung example ng emotional disturbed children? Yung mga bata na merong ADHD, or yung attention deficit disorder, or yung mga sobrang hyper na mga bata, or hyper disorder yata yung tawag doon. So, sila yung mga nakakategorize sa emotional disturbed children. Mentally ill naman yung mga bata na merong anxiety, may depressions. Ayan, yan naman yung example doon. So, next is the Republic Act number 7610, Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination. So, dito kailangan nyo lang tandaan yung word na dance. So, dance stands for discrimination. Kailan ba nagkakaroon daw ng special protection on children against abuse, exploitation, and discrimination? Tandaan yung tandaan natin yung acronym na DANCE, which is discrimination. Kailan man natin nasasabi na meron discrimination? Kapag merong unfair na treatment. So, example nito, sa school, meron dong yung estudyante ng isang teacher, merong isang maputi, tapos may isang maitim. Tapos, magkaiba yung trato niya doon. Mas mabait siya doon sa may maputi kaysa doon sa may maitim. That is unfair treatment. Discrimination yun. And then, abuse naman is maltreatment of a children, whether habitual or not. So, abuse, pwede siyang maging physical abuse o kaya mentally abuse. Kapag sinabi nating physical, ito yung nananakit, nananampal, nangungurot, namamalo. Tapos, kapag naman emotional or emotional abuse, or sa physical and emotional, pwedeng yung minumura yung bata, ganyan. Ayan, so yan yung mga types ng abuse. Neglect naman is a failure to give the needs of the child. So, neglected ka, i-connect nyo lang siya sa main needs, 'di ba? So, neglected, hindi binibigay yung mga pangangailangan ng isang bata. Cruelty, word or deeds that degrade human dignity. So, dito sa may cruelty, minamaliit mo yung bata o kaya naman pinapahiya mo yung bata sa harap ng maraming tao, sinisigaw-sigawan mo, sinasampal-sampal mo yung bata o kaya naman pinagbike mo ng nakakubad. Ayan, cruelty yon. Exploitation naman is taking advantage dun sa may bata. So, paano yan? Ine-exploit mo yung bata. Pinagtatrabaho mo, pinag-overwork mo. Katulad dito yung mga sindikato sa Manila na nagre-recruit ng mga bata para mamalimos. Exploitation tawag doon. Ayan. So, types ng abuse, meron tayong physical abuse. So, na-discuss ko kanina. Physical abuse, yung sinasaktan yung bata ng physical. Nagkakaroon siya ng mga pasapasa sa katawan, inaasbaran, pinapalo, ganyan. Tapos emotional naman kapag minumura yung bata. Hindi nga siya sinasaktan physical, pero kung mura-murahin naman siya, 'di ba? Kung pagsabihan naman siya ng mga hindi magagandang salita, ganun. Sa sexual abuse naman, ito naman yung nire-rape yung bata o kaya nagkakaroon ng sexual assault. Ayan, kasama dyan. Economical abuse, yung hindi binibigay sa kanya yung kanyang mga pangangailangan. So, yan yung mga types ng abuse. Next is child abuse in the family. So, the child, according to RA 7610, refers to the maltreatment, whether habitual or not, of the child, which includes any of the following. So, ito daw yung child abuse sa family. So, number 1 is psychological or physical abuse, neglect, cruelty, sexual abuse, and emotional maltreatment. Any acts by deeds or words which devases, degrades, or demeans the strength, word, and dignity of a child as a human being. Unreasonable deprivation of his basic needs for survival, such as food and shelter, and failure to immediate give medical treatment to an injured child, resulting in serious impairment of his growth and development in his permanent incapacity or death. So, yan yung mga types ng child abuse sa pamilya. Next naman is, what are the typologies of child abuser? So, ito naman yung mga abuser o yung mga nag-aabuso. Mentally disordered abuser. An abuser with a mental illness is someone who is damaged mentally. Parentally incompetent abuser. Abuser parents are those who discipline their children in the same way they were disciplined as a child. So, dito sa may parental incompetent abuser, kung ano yung ginawa sa kanya nung kanyang mga magulang nung bata pa siya, ini-a-apply niya sa kanyang mga anak in a way of discipline. So, kunyari, pinapaluhod sa munggo o kaya sa asin. Dahil ganun yung nakagisnan niya, ganun din yung ginagawa niya. Next is situational abuser, parents that mistreat their child in a specific situation. Exclusive are known as the situational abusers. Although they are frequently not abusive, they can fly of handle under particular circumstances. So, yan, situational abuser. There are certain situation lang kung saan inaabuso nila yung kanilang mga anak. So, for example, dito, wala yung nanay. Tapos, dahil, o kaya hindi pinagbigyan yung nanay na makipagtalik sa kanya. Tapos, dahil nga, yung tatay ay ayaw na, kumbaga, na-offend siya or hindi, syempre, diba, iba yung eagerness ng isang tao kapag parang sexually deprived. Tapos, ang ginawa niya, dun niya ibinaling sa kanyang anak yung kanyang sexual desire. So, yun, situational. There are certain situation, hindi niya laging ginagawa, pero kapag meron siyang chance or nire-reject siya ng kanyang asawa, sa kanyang anak niya binabaling. Ganyan. Accidental abuser naman, parents who abuse a child unintentionally is said to be acting poorly as a parent and abusing children as a result. Next is subcultural abuser. A subcultural abuser is a group of people with similar beliefs, customs, and attitudes. Next, self-identified abusers. Parents who have admitted to abusing their children and who have self-identified as abusers. Some of these abusers would wish to stop, but they are unable to, and they are afraid to reveal their methods of punishment. So, ito yung mga self-identified abuser. Inaamin naman nila na abuser sila. Pero, hindi nila sinishare kung ano yung, kung paano nila i-disiplina yung kanilang mga anak. Intentionally prescribed abuser who are prescribed by institution are known as institutional abusers. Certain institutions were formed on a concept that are harmful to the children. So, ayan, yung mga typologies ng abusers. Next is yung section 5, the child prostitution and other sexual abuse. So, sino ba yung magiging liable kapag nagkaroon ng child prostitution? So, number 1 is the pimp or procurer or yung tinatawag na bugaw, client or customer, and then yung hotel or motel. So, sila yung magiging liable for child prostitution, sex for hire, or yung tinatawag na child prostitution. Then, sa section 6, attempt to commit child prostitution. There is an attempt to commit a child prostitution under section 5, paragraph A, hereof, when any person who do not being a relative of the child is found alone with the said child inside the room or cubicle of a house or in motel, hotel, pension house, apartel, or other similar establishment, vessels, vehicle, or any other hidden or secluded area under circumstances which would lead a reasonable person to believe that the child is about to be exploited in prostitution and other sexual abuse. So, meron palang attempt. Kapag kasama or nakita na yung bata na kasama sa mga lugar na binanggit na yan. Then, children as a zone of peace. Children are hereby declared as zone of peace. So, dito, sa zone of peace, when it comes sa kunyari merong mga sakuna o kaya merong armed conflict, ang priority na i-evaluate ay yung mga bata. Ayan, priority sa evaluation, yung kanilang shelter and welfare. So, yung mga schools, clinics, hospitals, daycare center, playground shall not be used as barracks ng mga army kung sakaling meron yung armed hostility. Then, children shall not be the target. The number 4, children shall not be recruited as soldiers. So, yan. Next is the RA 9208 as amended by RA 10394. So, child laundering refers to the act of stealing and selling a child to adopting parents under false pretense and using schemes such as falsifying the child's details or manipulating the child's origin to make the child appear an orphan or foundling. So, dito, sa may child laundering, kumukuha sila ng bata. or nagnanakaw sila ng bata, tapos they make it appear na yung bata na yun ay galing sa orphanage. Tapos ano yung gagawin nila? Ibebenta nila, for example, sa mayayaman na walang anak. Tapos yung documents niya, gagawa sila ng documents na nagsasabi na yung bata na yun ay isang orphan. So tawag doon child laundering. Tapos next is child sexual abuse and exploitation material or child sexual abuse material. So, dito naman refers to the photos, image, videos, recordings, streams, or any other representation or from media depicting acts sexual abuse and exploitation of a child or representation of child as a sexual object, whether or not generally digital or by through with the use of informations and communication technology. It will also include materials that focus on or real in a simulation, genital or other private body parts of the child. So, etong pangalawa, yung child sexual abuse. Sobrang dami na ng cases na ganyan dito sa Pilipinas, kung saan yung mga magulang, 'di ba, pinipicture nila yung kanilang mga anak ng nakahubad, tapos binebenta sa mga pedophile sa internet, lalo na sa ibang bansa. So yan yun, yung binebenta yung kanilang mga videos, 'di ba? Yung kanilang mga pictures na nakahubad. Ayan, children involved in armed conflict or CIAC refers to the child who are either forcibly compulsorily recruited or who are voluntarily joined a government force or any armed group in any capacity. They may participate directly in armed hostile as a combatant or fighter, or indirectly through support roles such as scouts, spies, servitors, decoys, checkpoint assistant, couriers, messenger, porters, cooks, or as sexual objects. So, yan, yung ginagamit yung mga bata para maging weapon, na maging spy sa, kunyari sa kalaban, ganyan, hindi yan permitted ng batas natin. And then yung RA 9344 as amended by RA 100630. Ito daw yung mga batas sa may RA 9344 na inamindahan ng RA 10630. So, Juvenile Justice and Welfare System Act of 2006, Juvenile Justice System, a child-friendly procedure in case of CICL, application of CJS to minor or youth offender, and use of 5 pillars for minors. Next is the term for that is not applicable for children. So, ito yung mga terms na hindi dapat binabanggit or inire-refer to sa mga bata. So, salip na gamitin natin yung suspect, respondents, accused, ano yung ginagamit natin? PDL, CICL yung tawag natin sa bata. Hindi natin sila tinatawag na suspect, respondents, accused, or PDL. Next naman yung arrest. Kapag bata na yung aarestuhin, ang tawag na dun is apprehension. Sa arresto or apprehension, tawag na dun ay initial contact. Ayan. So, dun naman sa may filing or charging ng ano tawag dito? Yung pagpa-file or charging, tawag natin doon indictment. Then, trial or hearing, tawag natin sa bata adjudication. Sa matanda, sentence or judgment. Sa bata, disposition. Tapos, sa matanda, rehab. Pero sa bata, intervention. Sa settlement, sa matanda, diversion sa bata, and then rehabilitation center sa mga matatanda, then bahay pag-asa naman sa bata. So, yan yung mga terms na not applicable for a child. Next naman is yung child at risk. So, child at risk, sino ba yung mga child at risk na yan? So, number 1, being abused through sexual, physical, or psychological, mental, economic, or any other means, and the parents or guardians refuse, are unwilling, or unable to provide protection for the child, being exploited sexually or economically, being abandoned or neglected, and after diligent search and inquiry, the parents or guardians cannot be found, coming from the dysfunctions or broken family, or being without parents or guardian, being out of school, being being a street child, being a member of a gang, living in a community with a high level of criminality on drug abuse, and living in situations and armed conflicts. Umulit na lang ano. So, yun daw yung mga child at risk. So, sila yan. Yan. Kaya sinawag silang at risk kasi at risk sila to become a CICL or magkaroon sila ng conflict sa batas. Kaya tinatawag silang child at risk. Next is rescuing car or yung child at risk who violated ordinance or committed the Criminalization Act. If the child is a car included in Section 1 to 1.2 and Section 1 to 1.3, the responding officer shall immediately rescue the child and shall undertake the following. So, A, give the child a friendly advice or payo or a simple warning not to repeat the act or he or she committed. So, bibigyan lang siya ng warning. Pangalawa, immediately notify the parents or guardians for their proper intervention in the treatment of the child. So, kailangan daw i-inform or i-notify yung parents kung ano yung gagawing intervention doon sa may bata. Immediate transfer the physical custody of the child directly to the barangay of the resident for proper disposition. Then, if the child is a resident of another municipality or city, turn over the car in the LSWDO of the place where the offense was committed. Whenever a case is referred to barangay or the LSWD and documents need to be submitted, the WCPD officer shall submit the records of the case in a sealed envelope with a car case, written conspicuously on the upper right hand corner of the face of the envelope with appropriate receipt of the document. In all cases of the responding officer shall take down the facts of the case or his or her sticker and shall report the incident to the WCPD officer who shall enter the incident in a pink blotter or mandatory registry. So, yan daw yung mga kailangang gawin kapag magre-rescue ng isang child at risk. Next is initial contact with the child. So, ano ulit yung initial contact? Ito yung pag-aresto sa isang bata. Pero hindi natin siya tinatawag na arresting kasi ang proper way to na gamitin sa isang bata ay initial contact. So, dito sa may procedure for taking the child into custody, explain to the child in a simple language and in a dialect that he or she has an understand why he or she is being placed under custody and the offense that he or she alleged committed. So, kailangan mong i-inform yung bata, ano ba yung nakomit niya? Kailangan naiintindihan niya kung ano yung mga sinasabi mo. Inform the child of the reason for such custody and advise the child of his or her constitutional rights. So, sasabihin siya ng kanyang mga karapatan. Sa C, properly identify himself or herself and present proper identification to the child. So, sabihin mo kung sino ka. Na pulis ka, ganyan, sabihin mo sa kanya. I-inform mo siya. Refrain from using vulgar or profane words and from sexual harassing or abusing or making sexual advantage on the child in conflict with the law. Avoid displaying or using any firearms, weapon, handicrafts, and other instrument of the force or restraint unless absolutely necessary and only after all other methods of control had been exhausted and have failed. So, dito sa C, huwag daw gamitan ng firearms ng any weapons yung isang bata. So, gagamitan lang siya if talagang necessary and kung ginamit mo na or ginawa mo na lahat ng paraan ng alam mo para mapatigil or kumbaga hindi makontrol yung bata tapos hindi pa rin. So, dun mo pa lang siya pwedeng gamitan ng weapons or ng mga pang-handicaps, ganyan. So, sa F naman, refrain from subjecting the child in conflict with the law to a greater restraint than that is necessary from his or her apprehension. So, wag ka daw gagamit ng yun nga, sa may handicap, ganyan, yung sa may, ano yun, yung sinilalagay sa, sa may kamay, para, yung handicap nga, yun, handicap. Hindi ko masabi yung Tagalog. Posasa yun sa Tagalog. Ayan. Next is, avoid violence or unnecessary force. Huwag kang gumamit ng force, bata lang yan. Determine the age of the child pursuant to Section 7. Alamin mo kung ano yung age ng bata. Then, immediately but not later than 8 hours after apprehension, turn over the custody of the child to the Social Welfare and Development Office or other accredited NGOs and notify the child's apprehension to the Social Welfare and Development Officer shall explain to the child and the child's parents, guardians, the consequence of the child's act with view towards counseling, rehabilitation, diversion from the criminal justice system, and reparation if appropriate. So, kailangan i-inform nga yung bata, pati yung kanyang mga magulang kung ano yung gagawing rehabilitation process or diversion program na i-apply doon sa may bata. Take the child immediately to the proper medical and health officer for a thorough physical and mental examination. The examination result shall be kept confidential unless otherwise ordered by the family court. Whenever the medical treatment is required, steps shall be immediately undertaken to provide the same. So, sa K naman, ensure that should detention of the child is in conflict with the law, be necessary, the child shall be secured in quarters separate from that of the opposite sex and adult offender. So, kapag ang bata ay ilalagay sa isang confinement, kailangan hindi siya isasama sa opposite sex. And then, hindi din siya dapat isasama sa mga adult offenders kasi ang iniiwasan dito is yung mahawa or lumala yung isang bata. Lumala yung behavior ng bata kasi 'di ba, yung mga matatanda baka turuan pa yan ng ng mga acts na mas malala pa sa nagawa niya. Ayan, record the following in the initial investigation. Ito yung mga i-record whether the handcuffs or other instrument of restraint were used. So, kapag gumamit ka ng mga instrument, kailangan i-report mo siya or i-record mo siya. That the parents or guardians of a child, the DSWD and PAW has been informed of the apprehension of and the details thereof, the exhaustions of measures and determine the age of the child and the precise details of the physical and medical examination or the failure to submit a child to such examination. So, yan. Next naman, general rules in conducting initial contact. So, ano daw yung mga rules na yan? Number 1, the apprehension officer shall identify himself to the child and shall introduce himself or herself as kuya or ate to the child and show his or her proper identification card as a police officer. So, magpakilala ka, be friendly doon sa may bata para hindi ka niya katakutan. If the apprehending officer is wearing a vest or jacket while in uniform, he or she shall show her or his nameplate and her badge to the child. So, ipakita mo yung pangalan mo at saka yung badge mo. If the apprehending officer is a civilian in cloth, he or she shall show his or her identification card. The apprehending officer shall conduct the search of the child in a friendly, not degrading, and gender-sensitive manner. A female child shall only be searched by a female police officer. So, kailangan depende sa gender. Kapag batang babae, kailangan babae din yung mag-apprehend at saka yung magkakapkap sa kanya. Next is ensure that all statements signed by the child during investigation shall be witnessed by the child's parent or guardian, special workers or social workers or legal counsel in attendance with shall affix his or her signature to the said statements. Next is a child in conflict with the law shall only be searched by a law enforcement officer in the same gender and shall not be locked up in a detention cell. The apprehending officer shall read the following rights. So, alam naman natin yung, ano na yan, yung rights under custodial investigation. So, kinakabisado nyo to, diba? You have the right to remain silent, you have the right to have an independent and competent counsel, and then, you cannot, if you cannot afford the lawyer, the government will provide a lawyer to assist you for free of charge, and anything you say will be used against you in any court of law. So, bawat word na yan, kailangan lagyan mo ng, do you understand sa dulo? You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Naiintindihan mo ba? May karapatan kang humanap ng iyong abogado. Naiintindihan mo ba? Mga ganyan. So, kailangan lagi may tanong na naiintindihan mo ba? Kasi baka hindi niya na naiintindihan. If the child cannot understand the language or local dialect or suffers from disability, immediately bring the child to the station for proper assistance. Next, preventions of violence, injuries, and humiliation. The apprehending officer shall prevent any possible violence or injury that may be inflicted against the child by any person, including the victims or the complainant. With the time the CICL is taking into custody, the apprehending officer shall secure the child from public attentions and humiliation. If the CICL resists apprehension, the apprehending officer may use reasonable force to take the child into custody. But if the best interest of the CICL warrants it, the apprehending officer may call for his unit assistance in apprehending the child. The apprehending officer shall state clearly that a CICL is involved. Ayan. So, next naman, prohibited acts during initial contact. The use of instruments or force to restrain. So, bawal gumamit ng mga instrument like baton, yung handcuffs, guns, sticks, yan. Bawal po yan. As provided under Section 21 of RA 9344 as amended, police officer may only use an instrument or force or restrain when absolutely necessary, kapag kinakailangan lang talaga, tsaka lang gagamit ng mga nabanggit kanina na mga instruments. Whenever handicap is necessary, the apprehending officer shall ensure that the child is not exposed to the public. Kaya nga, yung mga bata, diba, kapag naka-handicap yan, tinatakpan pa ng damit o kaya ng jacket yung kanilang mga kamay. Ayan, para hindi makita yung handicaps. And if force, handcuffs, or other instrument or restraint are employed to the child, the police officer records such facts, the reason for using them, and they report it into the WCPD officer in the station. These facts shall be recorded in the pink blotter or a mandatory registry. So, ano nga ba yung, ulit yung pink blotters? Diba? Yung pink blotter, ito yung blotter book na ginagamit sa mga BAUSI cases. Ayan. Next is the prohibited acts during initial contact pa rin. Unnecessary violence and force. So, wag daw gagamit ng violence or unnecessary force. Then, yung vulgar language. Wag mo namang, wag murahin yung bata. Wag sabihan ng hindi magagandang salita. Committing sexual advance to the child or yung mga nagkakaroon ng sexual harassment, ayan, hindi pwede yan. Yung torture or paggamit ng mga cruel punishment. So, yan yung mga hindi pwede. Ano pa? If prohibited acts were committed, if the acts mentioned above were committed during initial contact, the police officer concerned shall exercise authority to stop the one employing violence. So, kailangan, kapag merong nangyayari na ng mga nung mga nabanggit kanina, kailangan pigilan na nung isa pang officer yung tao na nag-a-abuse or yung pulis na nang-a-abuse doon sa may bata. The WCPD officer shall record these facts in a pink blotter or mandatory registry and shall conduct an investigation regarding the matter and shall file the appropriate administrative and criminal case. Then, determination of the age of the child. Paano ba natin malalaman kung ano yung edad ng bata? So, ito yung mga documents na kailangan. So, pwedeng sa birth certificate, sa may baptismal, or any other pertinent documents such as but not limited to child's school ID, yung kanyang mga records. Ayan. So, the law enforcement officer may obtain the above documents from the following. So, saan ba nila makukuha yan? Syempre, doon sa parents or guardians. Or pwede din namang sa local civil registry or National Statistic Office. Pwede din sa school. Tapos, yung mga dental records niya, ayan, sa local health officers or pwedeng sa church, yung baptismal records. Then, if the above documents cannot be obtained, paano natin malalaman kung ano yung age ng bata? Pwedeng i-interview yung bata. Ayan, interview the child and obtain information that indicate age, date of birth, grade level in the school. Or kaya interview the person who may have a knowledge of the age of the child, pwedeng evaluating the physical appearance ng bata, yung height niya, yung build. Ayan. And then, obtaining other relevant evidence of the age. So, yan. Yung susunod naman is yung presumption of age of minority in a case of doubt. So, kapag hindi ka pa rin sure kung talaga bang yun yung age ng bata, ano yung dapat mong gawin. In case of doubt of the age, after all measures are exhausted to determine it, the doubt shall be resolved in favor of the child's minority. Ayan, when the child is below the age of criminal responsibility. So, immediate release the child. So, kapag ang bata daw ay nasa edad na 15 pababa, kailangan immediate release the child. Ayan, as provided by Section 20 of the Act. If it has been determined that the child taken into the custody is 15 years and below, kailangan palayain na siya agad. Immediately release yan. Dalin mo dun sa kanyang mga magulang, sa kanyang guardian, o kaya naman dalin mo dun sa may barangay, barangay. Ayan. And kailangan mong ito naman yung ibang definition pa. Best interest of the child refers to the totality of circumstances and condition which are most congenial to the survival, protection, and feelings of security of the child, and most encouraging to the child's physical, psychological, and emotional development. Child in conflict with the law refers to the child who is alleged as accused of or adjudged as having committed an offense under Philippine laws. Diversion refers to the alternative child appropriation process of determining the responsibilities of treatment of the child in conflict with the law on the basis of his or her social, cultural, and economic, psychological, or educational background without resorting to formal court proceeding. Then, intervention refers to the series of activities which are designed to address issues that causes the child's to commit an offense. If it may take the forms of an individualized treatment programs which may include counseling, skills training, education, and other activities that will enhance his or her psychological, emotional, and psychological social well-being. Next is Section 19, Community-Based Program on Juvenile Delinquency. So, Community-Based Program on Juvenile Justice Welfare shall be instituted by the LGU. So, magagaling or situated ng LGU through the LCPC, School Youth Organization, and other concerned agencies. The LGU shall provide community-based service which responds to the special needs, problems, interests, and concern of the child, which offers appropriate counseling, guidelines to them and their families. Ano yung primary? This program shall consist of 3 levels. So, ito yung mga 3 levels ng program. Primary intervention includes general measures to promote social justice and equal opportunity which tackle perceived root causes of offending. Secondary intervention includes measures to assist children at risk. Tertiary intervention includes measures to avoid unnecessary contact with the formal justice system and other measures to prevent reoffending. Next, kinds of intervention programs. So, ano ba yung mga intervention programs na ginagawa? Counseling, peer counseling, or like skills training educations. preventions of support service to the family, parents effective service, livelihood programs, and skills training, referral to other agencies for appropriate service, education, health, skills, and training, access to child and youth organization in the community such as but not limited to sangguniang kabataan. So, yan yung mga kinds of intervention program na binibigay sa mga CICL. Next is who shall undergo the venue of diversion. Pursuant to Section 23 of the Act, the child in conflict with the law shall undergo diversion program if he or she is above 15 years of age but below 18 years of age. So, sa bracket na yun, ayan, pwede silang magkaroon ng diversion. Yung 15 pataas but 18 below. Acted with discernment. Kumbaga, they know the consequences of their action. Alam nila yung tama at mali. Ayan. So, alleged committed an offense with an imposability penalty of not more than 6 years imprisonment if diversion is conducted at the barangay, police, prosecution level, and not more than 12 years of imprisonment if diversion is resorted to by the court. Ayan. So, next is where diversion may be conducted. Ito na, mabasa na naman. Ayan. As provided in the Section 24 of the Act, if the imposable penalty for the offense committed are more than 6 years of imprisonment, diversion may be conducted at the katarungang pagbarangay level under the punong barangay, police investigation stage under the law enforcement officers provided in Rule 444, inquest or preliminary investigation stage under the prosecution as a provided in Rule 55. If the offense with the imposable penalty for not more than 6 years imprisonment a victimless crime, the diversion proceeding shall be conducted by the LSWDO in coordination with BCPC. If the imposable penalty for the offense committed exceeds 6 years of imprisonment but not more than 12 years of imprisonment, diversion may resorted to only by the court. Ayan, kinds of diversion program. Restitution of property, reparation of damage caused, or yung reparation, yung papaayos mo yung nasira, ganyan. Indemnification of for consequences damage, yung ito din, nagbayad din yan. Written or oral apology, yung baga nanghihingi ng tawad, ganyan, nag-apologize. Care, guidance, and supervision order, counseling for child in conflict with the law and the child's family. So, yan yung mga diversion program. Sa Section 31 of the Act of different stages where diversion program may be restored, the diversion program may be agreed upon such as but not limited to. Sa punong barangay level. Yan. Yan yung mga ginagawang diversion program. Tapos, diversion program naman, attendance in training and seminars, lecture, anger management skills, problem solving and conflict resolutions, values and formations, and other skills which aid the child in dealing with the situations which can lead to repetitions of offense, and participation in an available community-based program including community service or yung mga naglilinis kapag nakakommit ng offense yung isang bata. Participation in education, vocational, and life skill training. Ayan. So, next is at level 3 yung level of appropriate court. So, dito naman, diversion program specified under the paragraph A and B, written oral reprimand or citation, pagbabayad ng fine, payment of the cost of the proceeding, and institutional care and custody. So, next is yung violation of local ordinance enacted by the local government concerning juvenile status offense, such as but not limited to curfew violations, truancy, parental disobedience, anti-smoking and anti-drinking law, as well as light offense of misdemeanor against public order or safety, such as but not limited to disorder, conduct, public scandals, harassment. No penalty shall be imposed on children for said isolation. and they shall instead be brought to their residence or any other barangay officials at the barangay hall to be released to the custody of the parents. Appropriate interventions program shall be provided for such ordinance. The child shall also be recorded as a child at risk and not a child CACL. The ordinance shall also provide for intervention programs such as counseling, attendance in group activities for children, and for parents attending in a parenting educational seminar. So, yung bata daw na makakapag-violate ng mga local ordinance or tinatawag nating status offense, kailangan dalhin agad yan sa kanilang mga magulang o kaya sa may barangay. Ayan. Tapos, kailangan yung bata umattend, tsaka yung parents niya umattend sa mga seminars, ganyan. Hindi pwedeng i-apprehend yung mga bata na yan. And then, ang kailangan lang, ang dapat na itawag sa kanila ay child at risk, hindi CICL. Kasi, kumbaga, ordinance pa lang naman yung kanilang nako-commit or yung mga status offense na tinatawag natin. So, Section 20, a serious crime committed by children who are exempted from criminal responsibility. A child who is above 12 years of age, up to 15 years of age, and who committed parricide, murder, infanticide, kidnapping, serious illegal detention, where the victim is killed or raped, robbery with homicide or rape, destructive arson, punishable by more than 12 years of imprisonment, shall be deemed neglected child under Presidential Decree number 603 as amended, and shall be mandatorily placed in a special facility within the youth care facility or bahay pag-asa called the Intensive Juvenile Intervention and Supportive Center. So, yung mga bata na nakakakumit ng mga talagang crime na merong edad na 12 years up to 15 years below, sila ay dinadala sa bahay pag-asa. Next, the repetition of offense. A child is above 12 years of age up to 15 years of age and who committed an offense for a second time. Ito pangalawa ng beses na nakomit. The child who was previously subject to community-based intervention program shall be deemed neglected child under PD 603 as amended and shall undergo an intensive intervention program supervised by the local social welfare and development officer, provided further that if the best interest of the child requires that he or she be placed in a youth care facility or bahay pag-asa, the child parents or grandparents shall execute written authorization for the voluntary commitment of the child. Provide finally that if the child has no parents or guardian, or if they refuse or fail to execute the written authorization for voluntary commitment, the proper petition for involuntary commitment shall be immediately filed by the DSWD or LSWD. So, yung mga bata daw na 12 years old to up to 15 years of age, kapag nirepeat nila yung offense na nagawa nila, kailangan yung kanilang mga magulang ay gagawa ng written order na sinasabi na yung kanilang anak ay i-confine nila sa may bahay pag-asa. O kaya naman kapag yung mga magulang na yon ay nag-fail na gumawa ng written order, ang gagawa na nun ay yung DSWD or yung LSWDO. So, next, no jail detention. So, bawal ngang ikulong yung mga bata. The court shall not order the detention, wala na naman, of the child pending trial or hearing of his or her case. Whenever detention is necessary, kapag naman ikukulong yung bata, kailangan hindi siya isasama and always be detained in a youth detention homes established by the local government pursuant to Section 8 of the Family Court. Hindi isasama yung bata sa mga adult offenders as well as sa opposite sex. Next yan, probation of an alternative imprisonment. The court may, after it shall convince and sentence a child in conflict with the law and upon application of at any time place the child in probation in lieu of service of his or her sentence, taking into account the best interest of the child. For this purpose, Section 4 of the Presidential Decree 968, otherwise known as Probation Law, is hereby amended accordingly. Then, ano yung rights ng CICL? So, yung mga hindi dapat gawin sa isang CICL is mag-go under death penalty, life imprisonment, reclusion perpetua, torture, handicap, and search, except if same gender. Ano naman yung mga karapatan nila? Karapatan nilang mag-bail, mag-avail ng probation, ng diversion program, or yung alternative na mga programs, confidentiality, trial, yung trial nila close court, hindi pwedeng mapanood ng iba, to be with his parents in all proceeding. So, imprisonment is the last resort. So, huling-huli lagi yung imprisonment. Kasi ang ginagawa dito sa juvenile justice system, gumagawa ng paraan yung ating pamahalaan, yung ating gobyerno na hindi makulong yung isang bata. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, puro diversion program, hindi sila kinukulong. Gumagawa talaga ng paraan para hindi dun mapunta yung bata. Talagang last resort na yung imprisonment. So, imprisonment, dapat separated sila sa adult at saka sa same dapat nasa same same gender. And then guilty or convicted, automatically suspension of the sentence, mapupunta sila sa bahay pag-asa. Yan. Next, gender sensitivity training. No personal or rehabilitation or training facility shall handle children in conflict with the law without having undergone gender sensitivity training. So, yung mga personnels na humahawak ng mga bata, ayan, about dun sa may mga kaso ng mga bata, kailangan nag-undergo sila sa gender sensitivity training. And the LGU, in coordination with DSWD, shall provide gender sensitivity training and other appropriate training relative to treatment and rehabilitation of children in conflict with the law. So, yan, finally, tapos na po ang ating juvenile justice sa juvenile justice. So, I hope na meron kayong naintindihan and I hope na panoorin nyo yung video na to. So, thank you everyone.